Lana Quest. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off while you were
No,
thanking
that's
me.
okay. All right, thank you for the clips because
Yes.
I can't blame you anymore. Not for
Nope.
the clips, but for how
You can only blame me if my instructions that I sent you were terrible. That's the only way you can blame me. Lana's trying to learn how to, on her own show, do the little clips that we play here on the
cool.
show, which we have plenty of tonight because we were almost clipless last week. But we have plenty of clips tonight. But she wants to know how to do them. I gave her a little step by step on how to do it, and let's see if she can pull it off. I know she can.
We'll see. We will see.
How are you?
Pop on, you see all these clips. I'm good. How are you? Celtics on tonight, right?
Celtics are on tonight, but
my daughter is playing something.
Huh?
My daughter, I can hear it in the background.
They're playing Milwaukee tonight. The bad news is that we're doing our show, so we can't watch it. But the good news is the Celtics have dominated so much that it doesn't even matter right now. It's just time to get to the playoffs because they've already wrapped up the number 1 seed. You know, I'm a Celtics fan, as you know. Lana being up in Massachusetts, it's a Celtics fan. So we've got 2 Celtics fans here too.
Yeah, didn't Brown make a record? Wasn't there a record the other day? Couple of days ago, was it Brown? I don't know. Who was it?
I don't know.
Points they're in the career. Oh my gosh,
Lana, are you bringing up something you don't know what you're talking about? Because you usually do not do that.
No, I kind of know.
Yeah,
but I'm not just all of in the know. Like I know.
Hey, you know what the question is? We're gonna have to, and with your permission, we may have to schedule our show around Celtics playoff games because if they're on Tuesday night,
yeah.
So,
keep going with the show. Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. This is Black and White with Brian Rundle and Lana Quest. We obviously have a lot of things to get to, like we always do. But tonight, we are going to talk about everybody's favorite subject, and that's abortion. Who doesn't love talking abortion?
Oh, my gosh. See, you're just going to take the smile just went right from my face.
Well, I know, and I watch Lana's show, and if you have not watched Lana's show, I would suggest that you do. You can tune into her show, The Quest Show, also live on YouTube on Thursday nights. I know this is a subject that is very close to her heart. There was a ruling in Arizona today. I'm going to get to that here in a minute, but let's take a few steps into why we're going to get there. The former disgraced president Donald Trump announced the other day what his views on abortion were going to be for the upcoming election. Sounded very political and probably not exactly. Well, I'll be honest. I don't know if Donald Trump has a strong opinion on abortion. I don't think he's got the opinion that Mike Pence and Lindsey Graham and others have on abortion. I think he is just going with what he thinks will best politically suit him, which this announcement probably does. Although the announcement is so goofy and hard to listen to, but because we are a clip show, we are going to listen to it. Let's listen to Donald Trump's announcement on his views on abortion for the upcoming election and beyond.
People have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded.
Lana, what legal scholars? Because he said not just some of them, not just one or two. All of the
legal scholars that he can't even name.
By the way, this is something they've been trying to overturn for 50 years. And every legal scholar has been saying this for 50 years, and it took them 50 years to do it. Okay, so let's finish up.
Be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that.
Okay, so I would agree that executing a baby after birth, he's right. I think everybody probably would agree with that. The problem with that premise is that there's not one case where that happens. Lana?
That's murder. What the fuck are we talking about? Infanticide, right? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, I'm so upset with that. Why do we have to do this? Oh my god, I didn't want to go here. Oh, I was in such a good mood. Like, I just was. His fucking leather face. He's a
You knew this was coming though, right?
oh my god, fucking leather face, fucking liar. Like, stop playing right. Like, we're gonna believe Donald Trump, a fucking liar that's sitting here like, whoa, they're executing babies after the 9th month. This fucking who is doing that? What are you talking? That it's not even rational. Like, it's just so irrational, and he's just saying it with a straight face, and that's the fucking gaslighting. And his stupid supporters are like, yeah, the Democrats are killing the babies after the 9th month. Like, what?
Well,
They've been in jail. The fuck are you talking about?
yeah, and I think that again, we've talked about it before. It's kind of the irresponsibility in a way. Now, I would say some of the media is correcting this, but it should go beyond correcting. This is not something where we go, hey, what Donald Trump is saying is not true. They should be, I mean, there should be red light. Everything should be going when somebody says that babies are being. Now, I will also say, Lana, and correct me if I'm wrong or if you think you're different on this. How many people actually believe that? Is this just a clown thing that he says that he knows he can get a very small percentage of weirdos to say it? But how many people are really believing it? Because if we look at every single when there's a vote on abortion in every single state, the abortion rights win big, even in the red states. So, I mean, I don't even know why he's saying this anymore because it doesn't even seem like anybody believes it.
It's his base, and I think like they continue to believe the nonsense, and it's not they don't believe that they're being executed, but they do believe that there are late term abortions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what they believe. And they believe like, oh my god, the blue states is like you could get an abortion at any time, when that is not true. The only time that someone is getting the third trimester abortion, if there is like some type of issue that's going to kill the mother or the baby, is just not viable. That's the only time that happens, and that's like less than 1%. It doesn't happen, but states need to have that in their laws to protect, just in case that happens for a woman. It's in the books that can happen so that she doesn't die. Like, that's what that is. And Republicans run. I heard Chris Christie said that before. It's a thing that Republicans actually say. Donald Trump just took it to another level and said execution. But Republicans always say, oh, Democrats, they want you to have abortions, and it's not an abortion at that point anyway. That's not what that is. It's something totally different. Like, stop playing with me right now. And what you're also doing is you're continuing to criminalize women. So not only are you saying women are too stupid to control their own reproductive health, you're also saying that women are murderers, because you're also saying that women just wake up one day and they're just like, I don't want to have this baby. I just changed my mind.
Yeah, and sometimes I get the feeling that it is almost. I mean, and I might be wrong, and I'm looking at it through a different lens, and you're looking at through the lens that I'm talking about. I mean, do they sometimes? Is this sort of like an attack on Black women, that they think this is a something that goes on in the Black community where they just get pregnant and they just want to abort babies?
I don't know if they think it's our community. I mean, I know like the trolls and those Russian bots, that's the first thing that they say, like, the Democrats want you to kill your Black babies. I don't know if they think that it's the Black community. I don't know if they think that, because it's not.
Right. And well, it's clear.
It's not.
There's enough statistics about abortion that everything that is being said about it from the right is completely insane. I mean, it's not just, you kind of look at it and go, hey, let me look this up to see if it's true. It is beyond insanity when you hear what they have to say. But you were talking about a few things about some statistics and stuff like this. I'm going to introduce again my girlfriend, Jessica Tarlov, had a few things to say about this. So let's take a listen to what she had to say. Hi, Jess.
And I should note there's a very powerful Biden campaign ad that just came out this afternoon about a young woman in Texas, wanted pregnancy, miscarriage at 18 weeks, could not get the care that she needed, ended up in sepsis, and doesn't know if she will be able to conceive again. The Democrats are fully on the right here to be using these very real stories about women who want these pregnancies. And we know that 60% of abortions are given to women who actually have had children before, facing catastrophic circumstances often. And Donald Trump is scrambling, and now he's just going to spend all night going after Lindsey Graham for coming out there for the 15-week ban again.
What she was talking about is Lindsey Graham went on Twitter or whatever, and it was opposed Donald Trump's announcement, thinks it should be more stringent, but that also alludes to what, Lana, you were just saying.
Yeah.
That it just doesn't, it happens in particular instances,
Right.
where I think I saw Pete Buttigieg one time on Fox News and answered this question beautifully and was asking him, and he says, guys, you got to remember, this is something where a woman has this person in their body. They've already picked out names. They've picked out a crib. They picked out all this stuff. This is not a decision a woman wants to make for the most part. This is an awful, terrible thing.
On both sides, right? Women who want a baby, and something goes awry with the embryo or the fetus, or it's non-viable, right? But there's the flip side, women who already have children, right? The husband and wife have children. A woman was on one of the news stations today, career military, just 3 children, 9/11 happened, she got pregnant. She wanted to re-enlist for this country. So she got an abortion because she could not do that while she was pregnant. They already have 3 children. They didn't plan for this one. So she did that so that she could fucking re-enlist for this country. And now they're saying you don't have any choices anymore. This is someone who did it for this country.
Yeah.
I can't wear my mask. I can't get a vaccine. This is my body. I don't know what that is you're putting in my body. Government can't be in my body. But when it comes to women, you can be all up in that body. It doesn't make any sense. It just never does. Don't vote for these people. Don't sit it out because young people, this is what's going to happen. I'm sorry, Brian. This is what's going to happen. You can't sit it out. I know what's happening in Gaza. It's so important, but this is important too because this is going to impact you, your niece, or your sister. Arizona is not having any type of breakaways for incest and rape. There's no exception here. They don't care if your uncle raped you, your brother raped you. They don't care who did it. You're having that baby, and it's not about the baby because they're going to turn around and not feed it.
Look, you're exactly right. And this is what Alana was alluding to, by the way. And this is the main story of the day, that the Arizona Supreme Court on Tuesday upheld a near total abortion ban with exceptions only to save the mother's life. And, that's there. There's going to be a case if this actually goes through, because, by the way, abortion's on the ballot in Arizona too, in a very, very important swing state that seems to be leaning towards Trump right now. But again,
right.
The polls, by the way, and we could talk about the polls a little bit later, but polls seem to be trending more in Joe Biden's. And we talked about this on the show before. Ever since the State of the Union address, the polls started trending back towards Biden, which we thought was going to happen. And with the abortion talk, I believe this is going to be the number one single voting issue of 2024. I don't think they give a fuck what the two names of the people who are running, as long as the one person is fighting for abortion rights and the other one is clearly not. I had a clip, it was short, I figure I'd just mention it again, but Donald Trump literally said that there should be punishment for the woman if there is an abortion. And the Democrats and whoever it is that is running on abortion rights will be playing this over and over and over and over again. Joe Biden clearly has double the amount of money that Donald Trump has right now, even though Donald Trump claimed he raised $50 million the other night, which I'm still not really sure about that.
Either. When they said that, I'm like,
well, it's Donald Trump. He can't, because Joe Biden raised $25 million in one night that could be proven. And obviously Donald Trump said, well, we cannot have this. We have got to show that we have raised more. So let's double it. He said, let's double it. And he knows you cannot prove it until the numbers come out months from now. Right. So, it's just another one of his marketing strategies. But anyway, the court ruled that the 1864 supersedes the state's 2022 15-week ban. It reversed a prior decision by the Arizona Court of Appeals, siding with the more recent law. The 4-2 opinion sets up a high-stakes battle over a possible November ballot measure that would protect abortion in Arizona for up to 24 weeks of pregnancy. So a lot going on there. So it's in Arizona. We talked about this last week. It's going to be in Florida, which is going to be, hopefully it could be a big deal for Florida. Florida is one of those states that overwhelmingly voted for $15 an hour on raising the minimum wage, but also voted overwhelmingly for Ron DeSantis. So, you never know. Although, again, it's one of those things where these idiots probably thought Ron DeSantis was the one responsible for the $15 an hour, which he clearly was not. I want to get to a comment. Baby Juggernaut is back. Such a silly stance Trump takes, a battle the party cannot win. All the women are going to vote. Lose for MAGA. That's exactly what we were just talking about. She's exactly right.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And they should lose. I mean, they celebrate it. They can't even stop. Like, MAGA have impulse control issues. They just really do. It's unbelievable because they just won't stop. Embryo.
Is it impulse control, or now is it they are so out of touch that, and they really think because of the bubble that they live in, that they think they're on the right side of
the
this.
Lawmakers? How can they be? I'm not going to believe that. Like, not the lawmakers. Maybe the MAGA followers, because they only do Fox. But there's no way that these lawmakers and their staff, because they all have staff, and they're not coming back and saying, hey, look at these numbers. Hey, like, I can't believe that none of these lawmakers understand this. I don't know. It's almost
I think some of them, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, might not. Because like I said, I think some of them are such in this religious ecosystem bubble that they truly believe that they don't care what is being told to them, because they're being told every day that they're nuts, and they don't believe it and they don't care. So they roll through and go, we know we're right. We know we're going to win this thing. And the sad part is they still might.
How do they think they're gonna win if they cheat, right? So, like, if they didn't understand that this is not the winning side, then they wouldn't try to hide it. It's like they gaslight us, just like Trump. He got on
Trump
there,
will.
right? But Trump got on there. He tried to do that line, like, let the states do it.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey Graham's like, no, we want national.
Mike Pence.
Right.
Did the same.
Trump's like, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to win. Right. So he knows that he's on the wrong side, because he knew that he couldn't say national, because he knew he's trying to fool people. They know Carrie Lake today acted
Yep.
like she
Changed
never
her view.
praised.
Yep.
Exactly. They know they're on the losing side, but they all work for the Federalists. And this is what they want. They want to control. They want to go back to the way things were. They want old white dominance.
Yep.
Control over women, control, control, control. They know what they're doing. They know that this is the wrong side. They don't care, because if they thought it was the right side, they wouldn't have to cheat to win elections or to try to change the rules so that people can't vote.
They're also the ones too, in every one of those states, they're trying to make divorce harder. And that's really more of a control over women thing is what that is. But you're right about bringing up Carrie Lake. You know, Carrie Lake is also the same person that knew it wasn't a winning strategy for her to go after John McCain. So she tried to make up with his daughter. What's her name? Meghan McCain. And Meghan McCain, to her credit, basically told her to go fuck herself and said, you know, we're not interested in making up with you. You said horrible things about my father. And what do you think? All of a sudden I'm going to drop it for the party, for the MAGA party? No, I'm not interested in that. So to her credit, she did that. On the clip I played with Jessica Tarlov, she did mention an ad that Biden ran on abortion that I have here that we can play. If you have not seen it, it is definitely worth seeing. It's hard to watch. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth watching. And it really gets to the heart of, you know, what this really is all about. I think people really need to stop thinking that this is just about a woman who goes out, just gets laid, gets pregnant, and decides that she just doesn't want to have a baby anymore because she wants to go out and party. I mean, do you have a small percentage of women that, yeah, but we can't make our.
So, Brian, even if that's the case, who fucking cares?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, that's exactly right. I mean, first of all, it wasn't illegal at the time. So, you know, you're right. If it was their thing, you know, if they did it because of that, and believe me, I know people in my circle that have gotten women pregnant and they've had abortions because they knew this is just not the time for us to have this. It was a mistake. It wasn't done on purpose. It was, you know, something that they regret. And we have this that we're able to now not destroy our lives over. And again, if you want to use the personal responsibility, you can all you want to, but I promise you, you and your circles are not using personal responsibility in every aspect of your life. So you can go fuck yourself with the personal responsibility shit.
Right. But they never blame the men. It's always the woman. It's always the woman's fault. That she got pregnant. It's never the man.
Well, that's, you know, it's always the easy thing to do to blame the ones who are the marginalized communities, women, you know, Black people, immigrants, you know, the LGBTQ community. It's easier to do that. And the problem is that when now those marginalized communities are not only speaking up, but they also have other people sticking up for these marginalized communities. What did they have to do now? They have to reverse course and say, oh, you people are woke. You people are. So they have to turn it into some sort of demonization of people who are sticking up or sticking up for themselves. And they don't like that. It bothers them. So, you know, they have to turn it into a thing where you're not cool because you're quote unquote woke or whatever the fuck stupid shit they say. But let's watch this clip. It's like I said, it's not easy to watch, but let's take a watch.
One of our willow boxes. This is just filled with some of the things that we had started gathering for her while I was pregnant.
Yep.
Here's her little baby book. This is the outfit that she was gonna maybe wear home from the hospital. All of these. This is the blanket that she was in. And these are her little footprints.
that's
I'm
just
Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Yeah, like I said, I told you, it's not very easy to watch. People ask me sometimes, what makes you a Democrat, liberal, whatever fucking label they want to put on it. And, when I hear the Republican side now, the MAGA side, the things that they're angry about and they're mad about just they're not real. They're made up things like the immigration thing, like transgender girls playing in sports. There's probably 3 of them in the fucking country. This is millions of women like this. And I just have this empathy towards people who are suffering or who are, who just don't seem to get a fair shake in life. And I get, there's a difference between making excuses and, legitimately not having a fair shake or not, not being listened to or whatever the case is. And that breaks my heart. And that is the kind of thing, the empathy that makes me more of a Democrat or a liberal, whatever it is you want to call it, than these monsters who, under the guise of religion and love and Jesus, who are so awful and terrible. Now, I want to point out, and Lana, I think, would say the same thing. As I always say on the show, I will never speak for Lana Quest. She could speak for herself. But there are millions, and I think there's probably more religious people who I can speak with and be on the same level with because they understand and I understand where they're coming from. There's this segment of religious people, though, that are awful, terrible human beings, and they're using their hatred and their anger under the guise of loving Jesus.
right. But it's like it's impacting white women. That's like the crazy thing about this, right? Like it's like they're hateful and they're racist and they're bigots, but this ban is impacting white women negatively. So if they thought that white women were going to be out here having all the babies so that they're not in the minority anymore, like
but Lana, though, you got to remember, for these people, this issue will transcend race because their white women aren't having abortions. They will have those rape babies they claim.
And that's I guess that's the short-sightedness of Republicans, because who the fuck said that Amanda's not Republican? Who said that she was Democrat? No one
That's
said
true.
that. We don't know what the fuck she is, or even if she's, well, I mean, we know what she is now, right? Because she's going across America telling her story. So kudos to her because she's fighting back. But I did a show. Christians have abortions too, because they do. There was a Christian couple. I forgot their names, but same situation. Non-viable fetus needed to have an abortion. She was getting sicker by the day, and they would not allow her. I think she was in Texas. They had to do a GoFundMe or something to be able to travel. And they were Christians. They were anti-choice. They were pro-life, and now they were faced with this situation. This doesn't have a religion on it. That's the short-sightedness of the Republicans at this point, because it can happen to anyone.
Yeah, I think when I say, I think it's more, it's just these MAGA Republicans who in their head is they separate and they differentiate themselves from the others.
Yeah.
Even if they say a Christian woman, if there was a Christian woman in their church that had an abortion, she would be exorcised from the, from the church. She wouldn't be allowed back in many of those circles. So, it's insane. Baby Juggernaut also says upcoming vote is a vote for women's rights and sanity. I mean, there's no other really word for it, because for Donald Trump to win, because if he wins the presidency, it's highly likely that the Republicans hold on to the House, and it's highly likely they win the Senate if Trump wins. And if that happens, I think we all know. I mean, first of all, I should say, I think we have an idea but I don't think we even know how bad it's going to be. I don't even think the people who vote for Donald Trump know how bad it's
They don't
going to
know.
be.
They don't know. They're
They
like, they
have
don't
no
care if he's
idea.
going to be a dictator. They have just no idea. They just
Yeah.
think we got one in the win column. So what? Our teeth are falling out, and we don't have our Social Security.
Yep.
Trump, I trust Trump because he had these businesses. He knows what he's doing. Meanwhile, Trump is just like his buddies, tax cuts everywhere. He's gonna make it so he never leaves office again. Like,
Meanwhile, the $100 of their last savings they put into his stock, DJT or whatever that company he is, it's down to about $20. So I still, when that's the thing I think that really drives me insane is that when there is known documented evidence that Donald Trump has been terrible at every business he's put his hands on, and you refuse to believe it, not only refuse to believe it, but you vote based on the fact that he is a great businessman, is mind-boggling to me. It is fucking mind-boggling to me. And I'll tell you what else is driving me nuts. This fucking gnat that keeps flying around my head. Do you see it? How'd this asshole get in my house? All right. Sorry.
No. Remember the spider that came and sat
Yeah.
down? It was just like zip back.
The creatures will keep attacking Lana. It's probably that damn Trump, that government.
Right.
Yep.
Oh,
It's who's their George Soros? I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Who cares? Okay. Speaking of religion, the day before the Supreme Court ruling in Arizona, this was seen on the floor in Arizona. Did you see this, Lana?
I just saw that. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it in a tweet before I got on here.
Again, this is concerning to me. And I will say a million times, I have no problem with people's religion. I have no problem with people who practice religion, especially when they do it to make themselves a better person, or if they feel like it's something that they can express to other people, not necessarily push it on people, but to express that this is the human being I am. And because of this, I'm a better human being. Fantastic. I think that's great. But this again, when I don't know, this is grade school stuff, Lana. I think you learned it in grade school too. I've always been told that there is a separation between church and state, which basically means politics and religion are supposed to be separated. But this is going on in the Senate floor in Arizona, literally on the floor.
Let it be so, Father God. Let it be so. Let it be so.
Its caption reads, the day before Arizona Supreme Court decides if near total abortion ban passed in 1864 goes back into effect, anti-abortion extremists pray in tongues on Senate floor led by January 6th and fake elector Senator Anthony Kern. Lana?
Fucking devils, man. Like, that's what I see. It's like fucking devils. Like, they're the devil. That's not even like, stop playing with us. Like, I swear, it's like their mission and goal to gaslight us. I don't even believe that shit. They're just doing shit just to do fucking shit. Like, that's still what? Come on. Like, honestly, let's think about this. Before Trump, have we ever seen them do such a thing? Like, before Trump, have we ever seen this nonsense before on some fucking floor? Like, so you can't tell me that this is just something that they've done all the time. This is them continuing with this nonsense. Like, it's all, I'm tired of saying gaslight. I'm tired of being gaslit. Like, what the fuck?
Lana, the problem is that when Trump won, they got the power, they tasted the power, they felt the power. When Trump lost, they convinced themselves that he did not. So they still feel like they have this power and it's still resonating, through them, and that they can do whatever they want. And really, a lot of this, I'm not even sure this is, I'm not saying they're not religious. Obviously, they have some sort of religious thing
I
about
think
them.
it's not
But,
really-
you know, I'm
I'm
surely
not saying that shit is obvious. That is not obvious to me. That was not really what I saw right there. It looked like some fucking demon spawns. Like I did not see.
well, what I'm saying is it's obvious they have some sort of religious feeling, whether or not you think that it is
Is that what it is? Because I could do right now. I can get the Holy Ghost and jump around. And you're gonna say I have a religious. I have a Bible here. Do I have religious? Do you want me to start jumping around and get the Holy Ghost?
I wouldn't believe
can
I
do
wouldn't
that
believe it from you. I don't think you can convince me. Um,
Even if I did something with this, even if I did this, you would.
hey, leather bound it and put the Constitution and Lee Greenwood's is proud to be an American lyrics in there as well.
It needs to be dusted. That's how long
I do believe they okay, let's put it this way. I do believe they think they're very religious.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I do think. But again, this kind of shit here is very I know. Yeah. I don't have a Bible in my home, so I wouldn't be able to dust it off. That Bible looks unopened, DA
It's one of
says.
my mom's. That's why it has like her writing and stuff in there. I have to get off.
I think DA is correct. It probably is unopened, except for the couple times that Lana's done it on this
It
show.
has all the cursive in it from my mom.
Oh,
Bible. Yeah.
she wrote in it too.
Yeah, she did
Ah.
a study. She's just
That's a
Yeah.
more special Bible than Donald
It
Trump's.
really is exactly.
Yep. Do not sell that one.
Never. I know.
no profit.
$60. Like what the hell?
But yeah, that's what we're seeing now on Senate floors. And by the way, this was a guy who was one of the fake elector schemes, and he defends January 6th and all this nutty bullshit. But this is where we're at, and they've made enough headway to where we're nervous as to whether or not they're going to win in November. I still am of the thought and near positive, unless something unbelievable happens, that I just don't see Joe Biden loses. I can't see it. I cannot see Donald Trump winning again. I just can't.
Oh, you want confirmation or something? Like
I do. Yeah. What are your feelings?
I don't see him winning either. Like I think that we're gonna get it together the closer that we get to November. I think the young people are gonna come back into the fold.
Well, haven't we proven already that time and time again the young people do come out? And time again, every single time there is a special election, a major election, Democrats seem to win. I mean, we talked about the one in Alabama not too long ago, where a seat was flipped in Alabama that Trump had won by 8 or 9 points,
right?
Or maybe even more, and she won by a lot. And because she ran on abortion, and that's what the IVF, right? The IVF is what she ran on. And that's what, between now and November, there are no women who are on the side of pro-choice, or even the ones who are on the fence are going to listen to Donald Trump over the last few days and go, wow, maybe I should listen to him. Maybe, it is a states' right thing, or maybe, we can just go by that. But I do want to play this clip, Lana. You'll be interested in this because plenty of men have opinions on abortion. And there's a gentleman named, what's this idiot's name? Mark Simone of WOR Radio was on the Larry Kudlow show. Larry Kudlow used to be in Donald Trump's cabinet. Now he is a host on Fox News. He says it's not that big of a deal. He's going to tell you why.
It's tricky business. How does this play out?
It hurts Trump for a few days, and then people start to realize this is not the worst thing in the world.
He may come out. He'll come out against us. Oh, no, maybe he won't. But remember, his point was the legislature, Mark. He didn't mention the court. So this is tricky. State Supreme Court, does that qualify as a state decision?
Yeah, that's what it is to be pro-choice.
Yeah.
The states can decide. If you had to travel to another state to get an abortion, it's not the worst thing in the world. Hopefully, this is a very rare occurrence in your life. Once in your life, maybe you would do it. Buying a bus ticket to go somewhere to get it is not the worst thing in the world.
To your point,
First of all, why would you have to buy a bus ticket? Why can't you just drive there? I don't understand the bus ticket reference, but Lana, what do you think? You're a woman.
What the fuck is he talking about? Like, that's just like a bus ticket, what, like up the street? What the hell?
To another state.
The South is a desert. Like, it's literally a desert. There's like 20 states that don't have it. Like, the nearest state, what, from Alabama is, where are we going? Illinois? Like, what? You're
How much
talking
do you
about
think the bus ticket is from Alabama to Illinois?
You want a pregnant woman who is sick with a freaking dead embryo or fetus inside of their body to get on a fucking bus? That's how stupid that is. Like, what the fuck? That won't be the worst thing for you. A woman who may fucking bleed out on a bus? That is what he just said.
Lana, are you overreacting here?
Just get on a bus. There was a woman who her whole family, they didn't have a babysitter, was driving hours so that she can get an abortion. They had to stop at a hotel to get some rest with their 2 children. She got sick, went to the bathroom, miscarried in the fucking bathroom while her kids were on the other side of the door sleeping. That's what these women have to deal with. And he's like, just get on the bus. Is that the worst thing? Hey, is that the worst thing in the world? The fuck is wrong with cruelty? Is the fucking point. They disconnect on purpose because they don't want you to care, because that is the gaslight. They want you to think like, oh no, it's not a big deal. Women can just do this. And it's not just women. So men have to speak out. And that is the issue too, because there are not enough men being vocal enough. Why is it that women, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, police brutality, women come out in just droves to march? Where are the men who support these women? Why can't they create a movement for these women? This is their wives, their daughters, their nieces. What the fuck is wrong with America right now? We need to hear from the men.
Yeah, the problem is I think the men that we're hearing from too much are the ones on the opposite side, or the ones who have the opinions on what women should do with their bodies and how they should handle it. If they do need an abortion, just hop on a fucking bus or just travel across state lines and do it. You're right. I mean, there may be, other outside of, Democratic lawmakers that are men, or there should be a bigger coalition of people speaking out about this. But, I do go back, and you're right about the speaking out about it, because I think if you're speaking out about it, then you probably are going to win by even more. But it does appear as if they're being quiet about it internally, the abortion issue is still winning in the polls. The pro-choice issue is winning in the polls. So they're maybe speaking at the polls, but I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying, the good news, I'm just trying to point out some good news in this. The good news is that this issue appears to be winning, for our side here. And, but that doesn't diminish what you just said about, more male voices speaking out. You got one right here.
Thanks.
But yeah, I get what you say. Hop on the bus, Gus. Yeah, that's basically, just make a new plan, Stan.
You're bleeding. It's okay. It's okay. It's just get on the bus.
Yeah. Again, Lana, this is on a major news channel. This isn't just like a small YouTube channel. I keep saying that, like ours. It's not like, this is something that is being heard by millions and millions of people. And he's on WOR radio, which is in New York, which again is heard by millions and millions. I don't know how many people are listening to the radio anymore, to be honest, but but even then, I mean, there are still millions of people hearing this garbage. And speaking of that, I found this clip. This is just, we talked about it before.
Oh my God.
There's just too many people, just non-qualified people that have the access to do this. Now, I get the irony here where people would go, what makes you think you and Lana are qualified? And, I don't think Lana and I go around telling everybody that we are more qualified to do something like this than anybody else is. I think Lana and I do this because we're passionate about it. We have opinions, and there is a outlet to do it. And I think we also believe, which I'm sure the other people who we don't think are qualified believe, that what they are saying is, they're passionate about it, whatever. I would argue that if you took the totality of anything Lana and I said versus the totality of a lot of the people that we point out, if you did some fact checking between the two, I would say that we would probably come out more on the winning side than they would. But these are two, I don't know, they're pastors I don't know who they are. I've never heard of them before. But this is a clip I saw today, and I thought it'd be interesting just to play on the show. I'm pretty sure Lana hasn't heard it, so I wanted to get her reaction, see what she thought. I can already tell her reaction. I actually love doing this to her, like kind of just throwing some shit at her, and she doesn't know what's coming. But listen to these two. Some shocking news that you may not have known.
Anointing, Mario, and this is what was happening. Remember Barack Hussein Obama? Yep. He had, I believe, a demonic anointing, and so it's opposite of holy. It's opposite of somebody walking in the authority of Jesus and the Holy Spirit. It's opposite of the favor of God. These men and these people are operating in a demonic anointing, and that's why they're able to do these things with little to no recourse. But the problem is the church needs to push back, and I know you're going to address that.
This, by the way, is a serious conversation. They're not trying to be funny.
Yeah, well, one thing, would you say then that there is a demonic hedge around Biden that protects him from the way other leaders, and I think Obama was really the first that really had this hedge around him. But it's even more intense now because we have a president that can't finish a sentence. He's in no condition to lead at all, and is leading.
That's right.
And the way that they're acting as if this is okay is not logical. It's not practical. It's not human. There's something very obviously almost catatonic about it. And I believe that it's a spell. It's a demonic hedge. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, 100%. And that is what's going on here.
Yep, that's what's going on there. DA says they look like good Christians. God, they sure do.
They look like pedophiles.
What do you think, Lana? Is there a demonic anointing of Biden and Obama that we didn't know about?
Why'd you make me watch that?
I love doing that to you. I love it. I love it.
Like, what the hell was that? It's so interesting. It's like the world is just like backwards. You have two men that they're talking about, Obama and Biden.
Yep.
Both who are Christians. Both who actively engage with the community and with church. Actively on Sundays go to church.
Yep.
Thanksgiving, they go and they give out meals to the homeless and the needy. This is what these people do.
Versus, they can name actual Bible scriptures
and not say 2 Corinthians.
Right.
Versus the Big Daddy Rape-A-Lot who doesn't go to church, who steals from his own charity, who holds Bibles upside down, who can't name a book in the Bible.
It is his favorite book, though. He has said that numerous times.
But that's so crazy. And the church and God-fearing ones are the ones that are demonic. they've hijacked religion. And someone talked about this the other day. Like they literally hijack what Christianity is supposed to be.
Yep.
And they're like reconfiguring it
Yep.
to fit their hateful, bigoted, racist narrative.
Yeah.
So now they're spitting out a different Christianity, which allows them to say the shit that they're saying. These are the evil people right here. Hillary Clinton has a pedophile ring in the pizza. And meanwhile, Trump is like right here, right there. I walk in on the teen girls. I love it. And then the evangelicals are like, woo, that's our guy. Like,
yeah, they make up I don't know, there's some story in the Bible where God sends a false prophet and Trump is the false prophet in this instance. So they can find some passage in the Bible to make this make sense for their crazy little world. And it's just very disturbing. It's scary. It's funny. There's a million adjectives to describe this.
Sunday. Trump doesn't even try, right? They put Trump on the pedestal of being Jesus, and he's like, oh shit, they think I'm Jesus?
Yeah.
Let me rock and roll with that.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He doesn't even pretend. He didn't even go to church on Easter. He's like, I don't even need a photo shoot in no fucking church. He's on Twitter. So Truth Social. Like,
I think he say that nobody's been crucified more than anybody in this world except for maybe Jesus. I believe he said that one time. Maybe. It's not even they still have to decide it.
It's like enough already. Like, what the fuck? How long did his father live? How old was he when he passed away? His dad?
I think it was in his 80s.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know. So you're trying to get it. You're yeah, I got you. The golden call has been replaced by an orange pig.
He is like that's what like every time you see him, he's not even orange anymore. He's like fucking leathery brown.
Yeah, they're overdoing the makeup for him because if they did not do this makeup, he would, because they want to keep making fun of how old Joe Biden looks. But if they took that makeup off Donald Trump, first of all, I've seen him a couple times coming off that golf course where he looks awful. I mean, he just looks terrible. He never looked great anyway, but he looked terrible. I mean, just absolutely
like
awful.
Spoiled milk, all curled up, 10 miles of bad road. He is disgusting. And now he's got on brown. Like I mean, if you're gonna sell sneakers in the hood, you gotta be brown. It's like now his whole face is brown, except his ears are like milk white. It's like, what is this? So confused. I'm confused, America. What's wrong?
It does drive us nuts. It's out of control. We did have after Biden won, we had a nice couple of years where everything was just kind of calm and quiet and just like, all right, good. We still had to hear some of the outside noise. We still had to hear some of the, things about Biden, but it wasn't, but now we are sparking up we've said it before, these next 8 to 12 to 14, 16 months are going to be some of the craziest things you've ever seen in the history of this country. Yeah. Hopefully we can slow that down in November if the Democrats do what, should be doing and are supposed to be doing in November. I think we could slow a lot of this down, although 2025 will be nuts because then we're going to see a couple more trials that probably won't happen this year that they should. What do you think, Juan? I mean, are we going to see? I mean, obviously, we have the one trial starting Monday, the New York trial, the Stormy Daniels case. But outside of that, I mean, have you heard or seen anything that there is hope that we might see another one of these trials before the election?
Well, we need so the Supreme Court is going to rule the end of April,
right? But that's the Eileen Cannon case, which I have a lot of concerns about, and even
no, it's the DC case, right? Immunity.
I love how he has so many fucking counts against him that we get confused.
Because that's on hold, awaiting this immunity, because remember
it is judge. Yeah, it is. It's basically Donald Trump can do whatever the fuck he wants because he's president case.
He gets SEAL Team 6 or whatever to
Right.
assassinate someone, and he's okay. And Jack Smith just wrote a motion to the Supreme Court saying, "Are y'all fucking crazy right now? Don't let him do this."
Yeah.
That's basically what that that 66-page motion was like. Do better, y'all. Come on.
All right,
Don't-
so there is the possibility of that one, which would be a big one, because again, we keep talking about slam dunk cases. I don't know of any of these that are not. I've said before, all you got to do is read the indictment on that classified documents case, and anybody with any level of comprehension can read it and go, I don't even understand why it has to go to trial. I mean, obviously it has to go to trial for due process, but how do you get out of it? It is just so obvious. There is just there's nothing. I couldn't even begin to understand what the defense would be on this case. The only thing I could think of is when you watch those Dateline NBCs, you watch the first half of it and you're like, oh, this guy's fucked. And then they go to the second half and you're like, I don't know, maybe this guy didn't do it. I'm waiting for the maybe this guy didn't do it part.
There is none.
I don't know. It's impossible. But all right, there's another clip I'm going to play that I saw, Lana, you shared. So I know you saw this clip, and this is RFK Jr.'s New York. This is his what do you call it? Campaign manager in New York. Doesn't even matter what her name is. And, there's always been this talk as to whether or not Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to hurt Donald Trump, or is he going to hurt Joe Biden? Anybody, again, with any comprehension level or with a pulse, or anybody that follows this a little bit, it's clear that RFK Jr. is not somebody that any Democrat or liberal would consider and go, I don't know, maybe, other than the fact that you're really not paying attention and you saw his last name was Kennedy and he was part of that Kennedy family. I mean, if that's the only thing that you have, then you shouldn't probably be voting anyway. But this is the campaign manager in New York just openly saying what her thoughts are on her own candidate, Robert Kennedy Jr., and the comparison with Donald Trump.
There's no Biden voters in the House, right?
Let's make clear, no Biden.
No. Okay, good.
Good.
Things, I guess, will change over time because you do have to only pick one candidate at the end of the day. But the Kennedy voter and the Trump voter, the enemy, our mutual enemy is Biden. Since Biden is counting on us with Bobby in the mix, my thought is for the Republicans. See, Bobby right now, he's pulling from both sides. Right now, he's actually pulling a little bit more from Biden, which explains why the DNC is kind of ganging up on him. They have a special committee to go after independent candidates. Yeah, they say independent candidates, like non-affiliated candidates. They really mean Bobby, because Bobby's the only third party that anybody's taking seriously. So they developed a committee just to go after him and to get him off of the ballot in any way they can. Especially, it seems as though they're going after the battleground states more than the deep blue states.
By the way, let's go over this real quick. The election 24, how to benefit from RFK on the ballot here. This is a strategic opportunity to block Biden. This is, again, his campaign manager in New York. Yeah. Trump can't win New York. New York has not elected a Republican president in 40 years. New York is assumed Democrat. Biden counts the 28 electoral votes in his favor automatically. 270 wins the presidency. If other blue states follow our example, Biden cannot win. New York can send a message of independence. That's not happening. I don't know how deluded they are into thinking that Dems comprise just under half New York voters. Republicans are 22%, and no affiliation are 23%. Bobby is a landing pad for disillusioned Democrats. So I'm assuming this is a plan for Robert Kennedy Jr. to somehow win New York.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. You know what? It doesn't even matter. We don't have to finish up to what
Bobby's
what
moving the
saying.
blues on his own.
She won't.
If the Republic,
shut up, dummy.
They're crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah, and Robert Kennedy Jr. also had to backtrack a little bit on his comments on the January 6th. He was basically, saying the same thing Donald Trump is that they're hostages. And this is a bad political strategy, by the way. I really don't know anybody except for the whacked out MAGA cult that looks at those people and says, yeah, they shouldn't be in jail. They were just, peacefully protesting. I've gone back a million times too, which drives me more insane that people are not bringing up more than anything. The Capitol, that was during the height of COVID. The Capitol was locked and closed that day. It wasn't even open for you to go in and protest. Even if it wasn't, that was the day that they were certifying the election votes. Right. So it wasn't something that you were allowed to just walk in and do that day. The Capitol was closed. You were not allowed in there. At the very least, you trespassed on a federal building. If one person tried to trespass into that building on that day or any other day that the Capitol was closed, they would be in jail without even hitting a cop.
Right.
So to call these fucking assholes, and again, you said the word numerous times, gaslighting. How many videos do we have to see of these monsters? These are real monsters, not the ones that Donald Trump keeps trying to tell us that are coming in from Mexico.
Right, exactly. Oh my God, it's the caravan. And
these are animals. Those were animals.
Right.
Which is very infuriating. And to call these people hostages, and Lana brought this up before too, when you call these hostages, when there's real hostages, in real places, it's offensive, it's infuriating, and it's more infuriating that you have not just a guy running for president, but you have others surrounding him in an ecosystem of propaganda media and propagandists in the Congress and the people surrounding him that echo these ridiculous claims.
Right. Hostages. And these people still vote for him. This is like, but then again, where's the surprise? Like, he called military veterans suckers and losers. So, and they still will vote for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't
the biggest suckers and losers are the ones who vote for him.
Yeah, right.
Those are the suckers and losers.
Yeah.
Bobert and MTG giving tours day before Baby Juggernaut says, they're on videos. And again, I don't understand why that's not looked into a little bit more. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but when you see them giving tours to people, again, to a place that was closed, it wasn't even supposed to be open to these people.
Ted Cruz too, on that telephone call, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
They've been playing that tape of that recording of him.
Yes. Yep.
With the fake electors or something he was talking about.
Yeah.
So what's happening here? Like, I don't understand.
This is, they keep talking about the irregularities of the 2020. The irregularities came from them.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. Yeah. I mean, this is fucking fake electors that they're trying to put together to overturn the election.
Electors.
Having
That's like guilty.
Right? Having people break into the Capitol. That's irregular. That is not. And by the way, the other thing that they keep talking about, these irregularities, are some of these in red states too, like Georgia, and these were all rules and regulations that were put in place because of COVID by Republican legislators. These were the ones put it was before the election happened. So it's not like just something that they decided on the day of the election, said, hey, these votes that were mailed or whatever the fucking case is, that they were just going to, change the rules on that day. These were rules that were already in place before the election. There was no irregularities. And the fact that we're still talking about this fucking stupid shit 4 years later is insane.
4 years later.
Fucking insane. Speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, you tell me you don't like, you're like, why do you do this to me? Unfortunately, I am going to play this grating, awful voice of Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is what she has to say about January 6th. I don't know if I can do it. All right. Take a breath, Lana. We're going to have to listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene for about a minute. Go.
If I had it my way, we would have impeached him a long time ago. Actually, if I had it my way, we would have been successful in our objection on January 6th, and he wouldn't even be president. I'm getting better, though. We'll get there.
Where she's getting, I don't know, but Marjorie Taylor Greene basically says that if she had it her way, January 6th would have been successful. And if you've watched the footage of January 6th, success means by any means necessary.
I don't know. I'm just happy she got some sentences out. I guess she's excited about that. Hope she got the clicks and likes that she wanted. I mean, I don't know.
That's what she's in it for. In fact, I think she's stated many times she actually can't stand being in Congress anymore.
Yeah,
she
she
can't
doesn't
stand
like
it.
this. She's there to entertain and raise money and stuff. This is all a game.
Yep.
And the people in the district are too stupid to want anything from her other than entertainment. Like they just think this is one big friggin' reality show that they're all involved in. They don't care. They don't expect anything.
The saddest part is that not only is is Marjorie Taylor Greene somebody that, and I see like CNN outside, like seriously interviewing this woman, which again is offensive to me. But I guess in a way you have to, because outside of Donald Trump, she might be the second or third most powerful Republican in the party right now, which is
and she doesn't even
fucking nuts.
She doesn't even really want to be there. She's just
no,
whatever.
Not only that, she shouldn't be in politics. She shouldn't be in school boards. She shouldn't be. I don't know if she could work get the cashier at a Target. I mean, she's just so whacked out. She's nuts. And that other one, Lauren Boebert, did you see that story the other day? That she was at a Trump fundraiser. She got so fucking drunk that she kept trying to take selfies with Trump that they had to basically keep her away from him. She can't control herself in public, this woman. This is a fucking American congressperson.
I mean, listen, they said that you saw that list of drugs coming from a Trump White House, right? So this is what they do. Matt Gaetz and his friggin' drugs and cocaine and whatever else he was doing, Red Bull and cocaine. I don't know. It's like these people are like, they just want to have fun. They're not there to policy what, where, what is that?
You know what else is crazy? You know what else is crazy too, Lana? That one thing I can't figure out about them, they all seem to hate each other too. Like there's factions, like some of them like each other, some of them hate each other, some like Kevin McCarthy, some people hate Matt Gaetz, some people hate Marjorie Taylor Greene, the other one hates Lauren Boebert. It just, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But that's what happens, when you elect the fucking clowns.
Yeah, they eat themselves.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Another clip. There's this guy named sorry, Lana.
That's okay.
Is it?
I don't know. No.
Sorry. Eric Holdy. He is running against Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin.
Okay.
For her seat. And again, it is amazing when you hear these people talk about the election. And now, to his credit here, he did not necessarily say that the election was stolen. But this guy, who again is running for a very important seat in Wisconsin that the Democrats need to win, had a theory as to maybe why the Democrats got a few extra votes.
I'm going to spend my time talking about 2020. Do I believe the election was stolen? No, but did things happen in that election that were very troublesome? Absolutely. And I can point them out right here in Wisconsin. We had Zuckerbucks come into Democratic cities in a big way to push out, working with cities to push out Democratic votes.
Zuckerbucks, I'm assuming he means Mark Zuckerberg, and Facebook somehow helped the Democrats win there, which is ridiculous because Facebook was probably responsible for getting Donald Trump elected.
Exactly. Like, when has Zuckerberg mark been on the side of Democrats? When did that happen?
But the real doozy's about to come up. Here you go, Lana.
We had nursing homes where the sheriff of Racine investigated where you had 100% voting in nursing homes. Well, if you're in a nursing home, you only have 5-6 month life expectancy. Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
Well, Lana,
why do these people run? Like, it's just stupid. I can't.
100% voting in.
Why can't they vote? People in the
Well, they only have 5 or 6 months left. I mean, what's the point?
Was it all like vegetables or on like a breathing machine and on ventilators? Like, what the fuck is he talking about? They're not lucid?
I would imagine that's probably what he alludes to. You know why? Because fucking morons who listen to that guy's show believe it. They go, oh, you know what? We heard today there's another thing that the Democrats did. They bust a bunch of seniors who don't know where they're at and made them vote for Democrats. Now, first of all, that would require the people to bring them there and to follow them to the voting booth, which I don't think you're allowed to do.
You're not allowed to do that.
Right. Now there may be some special assistant. I don't know if there is. I know you've worked as a
I didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't have a
I
chance.
didn't make it there. Like, I couldn't do the one that I was going to do the thing. But
all right. Well, listen.
Yeah.
Forget about that then.
I went to the training though. I didn't.
all that matters.
I went to the training. And
Her intentions were good, and that's all that matters.
I did learn that. You cannot do that. You cannot tell them who to vote for. You can't even talk about it. You got to go in there alone.
Right.
Yeah. They can't even.
So you can't stand over a senior and take his hand or her hand and fill in the ballot for them.
People who work there can't even take your ballot from you and put it in the machine. You have to put it in the machine after you
Now,
vote.
Lana, you know this. I know this, but there are people who listen to, I'm sure, a show that I don't know if it was hundreds of thousands or maybe a million or millions listen to. And now they are going around telling people they found out something new that Democrats did to help steal the 2020 election, even though the guy opened up with, I don't believe it was stolen, but a little strange that it was 100% voting
right
from old folks' homes.
Check those guys over in there, Florida. Where's that place over there where all the Republicans?
Yeah, that's the Villages.
The Villages, they're voting for their dead spouses and stuff. You may want to start there for the irregularities.
What state was it? Was it Georgia? It was, I think, Georgia, who had the lawmaker who they found out that he voted 9 times.
Dude.
A Republican, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're the ones.
Yep.
That is wild.
Yep. It's again, whatever comes out of their mouth is basically an admission, is what it is with them. It's projection, it's admissions. That's what they do. It is unbelievable, unreal. All right, I have one last clip, Lana. It's very sad news.
Okay.
Very, very sad, and I'm sure you've seen it. But the Democrats, the liberals, the leftists, whatever you want to call them, we lost The Rock.
Oh my God, I saw that. Goddamn Rock.
Lost The Rock, which, you know,
the hell up.
First of all, as a University of Miami Hurricane, diehard University of Miami Hurricane football fan, I was a fan of The Rock because maybe you do or maybe you don't know. He was a defensive lineman for the University of Miami. He blew out his knee and was replaced by one of the greatest defensive tackles of all time in college and in the pros, Warren Sapp. So he basically lost his job. And when he lost his job, he went into professional wrestling, where his father and his grandfather had huge careers in the WWE. And not only did he have a huge career, probably considered one of the biggest careers in the history of professional wrestling. He made people that were not watching professional wrestling watch, and I was one of them, and he was the best when he was on the mic, and by far the best, wasn't even close. Then, against all odds, goes and becomes one of the biggest movie stars in the world. And in 2020, he went on and endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for the 2020 election. And look, I'll admit, as a fan of The Rock, I was happy to hear him say that. You know, so, and, you know, now we'll hear people go, well, who gives a shit what The Rock thinks? You know, we cared about what he thought a little bit in 2020. I think anybody, no matter who you are, if you have some sort of influence, you're happy to hear that they are endorsing the candidate that you like. And then when you hear that they're not endorsing that candidate, it doesn't feel as good. You know, but is it the end of the world? I don't think so. I don't know if The Rock changed the 2020 election, and I don't think he's going to change the 2024 election. But let's listen. For some reason, Dwayne The Rock Johnson felt it necessary the day before the big WrestleMania event that he was in to sit down with Fox News and give his opinion on the upcoming election.
Happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, you know, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no.
He went on to say, too, it's not part of the clip, but one of the reasons why he's not voting for Joe Biden is because of the divisiveness of Joe Biden, and he is not happy about the so-called woke agenda, or whatever it is they call it, that's going on in America. It sounded pretty calculated. Dwayne Johnson seems like an intelligent guy to me, but there's also, again, this is just my opinion, this is not fact, but there are also a lot of people that have intelligence, but maybe not are as intelligent about politics, and their views can be easily influenced. And this sounds to me like it was influenced sort of from a, you know, we have all different kinds of factions now in this country on where people are getting their feels in politics. You know, we have the MSNBCs and the CNNs, we have the Fox News and the OANs and the Newsmax. We have just the New York Times and Washington Post people. You have the Alex Jones type people. Then you have the Joe Rogan, you know, Patrick Bet-David sort of faction. I think that's where Rock is now. He didn't endorse necessarily Donald Trump, but he has felt like it was necessary for him to go on Fox News and say that he is not endorsing Joe Biden, which could lead a lot of people to think that he's endorsing Donald Trump. My feeling is he could be one of those stupid Bobby Kennedy Jr. nuts, but I don't know. Lana, what do you think?
That he's doing it because he's on WrestleMania, whatever the fuck that is, because that's those are Trump's people. Like that's the MAGA kids.
You know what, though? I'll tell you something, Lana. And this may be a little bit of a surprise to you, and I might be wrong. Believe it or not, the WrestleMania crowd, and the reason why I know this is because I used to watch it a long time ago. I used to watch because it was just entertaining. It was very entertaining. And so there are some things I keep up with it here and there, as opposed to the UFC crowd. Now, the UFC crowd is full MAGA. But the WrestleMania crowd, these wrestling, you'd be surprised how very liberal a lot of them are, because they were the ones. You could go back and there's literally a story about it. The wrestling fans that go to these things, they basically dictate on how the whole wrestling world is going, and they were the ones who were very instrumental on getting women's wrestling way higher up there. There's also a lot of these podcasters, because I don't
like tits. That's why.
Well, no, I mean, but when I'm saying, when they're talking about women's wrestling, they're not talking about it in that respect. They're talking about it from the legitimate technical standpoint of wrestling.
Okay.
And a lot of these podcasters that I don't listen to wrestling I've never listened to one except for when the Vince McMahon news broke out. And almost every one of them were appalled. They were sickened. They were, they almost felt like they didn't even want to watch wrestling anymore because they were so disgusted by it. So that's just an observation that I've seen from, at least to me, they're different than the UFC kind of crowd.
Yeah, it just struck me. It's just the timing. Like, timing is everything for me. And it always seems like there's always another motive, because why now? Like, why right before your matches? Vince McMahon still running these things or no?
No.
Yeah,
He's out, and he's
It's just a weird thing. Like, it's just the timing is weird that he had to do it now. Like, I don't know. It's something odd about that.
I think a lot of people are some are surmising because of the amount of money Rock makes. Because you got to remember, he was in wrestling in 2020. So, if he thought that him saying that we're going to alienate fans, I think that more of his fans, like, I might say more, I'd say a small scale, would be more apt to vote for Joe Biden, believe it or not, than because The Rock he's always been a outside of wrestling. When you see him on interviews, when you see him, he's very giving, very kind, very nice, very
Which is crazy. It's like you have to be an idiot to call the man with the Black Asian vice president who put Ketanji on the Supreme Court divisive.
It makes no sense.
Blind? Like, where have you're just talking to talk. That's why it seems like, what the fuck else is going on? Did your agent tell you need to be on that? See, that's why what's his face? What's the comedian's name? God, why can't I think? I just lost him. In the stupid movie with The Rock.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart don't say shit. We know, Kevin Hart is not a Republican, but he doesn't say anything about any of it.
Yeah.
He's staying out of the fray, and he does what he does, and he's not going to talk about it because he wants that money. He ain't trying to lose none of the fans. He just not saying nothing about no one. He's smart. Shut up.
My personal opinion, and I could be wrong. I just think there's been, since the 2020 election, there's been sort of this, like I said, this Joe Rogan sort of influence on especially dudes, and just, I don't know. I think I'm getting that vibe a little bit. That's why Bill Maher is I feel like he's gone that way a little bit too. And it's just like this, the woke thing. That just
have a daughter. Like, you have a kid.
Well, a lot of people on social media pointed that out to him for sure.
Like, are you right? Like, are you that stupid? Do you know what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm pretty sure your daughter's woke. Like, you're fucking woke. You're in the fucking industry. Like,
right.
What are you talking about?
But to call and by the way, let's all make it clear. Nobody's trying to cancel The Rock. So, I mean, The Rock's not getting canceled. So don't worry about that.
I never cared for him anyway to cancel him. So I don't.
Yeah. I mean, it made a lot of news. Again, at the end of the day, does it really matter? No, it makes no bit of sense. It doesn't matter. Cause like I said, I think it was cool when I heard him endorse Biden in 2020.
We got Mark Cuban. We don't need you, Rock.
That is true. That is absolutely true. Mark Cuban to the rescue.
And Mark Hamill, apparently.
Oh, Mark Hamill is a big time. And the Fonz. Are you kidding me? Come on. We got Luke Skywalker and the Fonz.
Queen
They have
Latifah.
Scott Baio and
Lizzo. We got
yeah, Scott Baio, Kevin Sorbo. Who else do they have?
exactly.
James Woods, who I
We
actually
got
really
Barbra
liked as an actor.
Streisand.
Huh?
We got Barbara Streisand and
Yeah.
whoever else, Mia Farrow, and
They have Ricky Schroeder from Silver Spoons.
they have all like the B list.
B.
F, I don't know, G.
Yeah, they're not even B anymore. They're like not even C. They're like more like C. Yeah, they haven't been in a fucking role in 20 years. And James Woods actually was a pretty good Kid Rock,
yeah, Kid
Baby
Rock.
Juggernaut. Yep. So they have Kid Rock and The Rock. I hope we don't lose Chris Rock. And I don't even. Chris Rock seems a little on the fence too, by the way. Every time I hear he's kind of in that sort of whole Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, sort of Bill Maher camp of these, I love the climate, but I hate everything else kind of,
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Stick with LeBron.
Right.
he's gonna be through and through. He's gonna do what he's supposed to do. So.
100%. Well, like I said, I feel good about the election every day. I feel, just based on history, just based on logic, just based on, it doesn't mean I'm not nervous about it, but I feel good about everything. But all right, getting close to the end of the show, or if we're not at the end of the show already, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Lana, do you have anything else you'd like to?
No, man.
By the way, do you think should they debate or not? Because apparently there's a story out now that the networks are pressing both of them for a debate, which of course they want.
I would like for them to debate.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Why do you want to see them debate?
I want to see them debate because I would love for them to discuss these hot topic issues. Abortion. What are you going to do? You said that you wanted to punish women. Do you still believe that? Are you going to sign a national ban? So it depends on who the moderator is and what channel, right? So if it's on some channel who's not going to ask the questions, then fuck that. Or maybe it should be a town hall type debate. I would like to see them debate because there's a lot of meat out there and we can get questions answered. Trump doesn't talk about policy.
I mean, you're right in that respect. I mean, my only issue with that is that Donald Trump is the master of talking in circles and never answering. I mean, I'm not talking about just not answering it. He will go off on something that's not even part of the fucking question and turn it into something completely different. And the fucking moderator will forget about it and not go back to the original question. And I also think back, do you remember the first debate that Joe Biden and Donald Trump had the first time? It was such an embarrassing disaster that I don't know if I could sit through that again. I mean, it was just so fucking embarrassing. And embarrassing because of Donald Trump. I mean, and even sucked Joe Biden in a little bit into, call him a clown and to tell him to be quiet and all that stuff. But he just got so off the rails and was so terrible. And again, you're right, too. If it's a moderator like Brett Baier on Fox News.
Right. If it's somebody who could just answer the fucking question. Like,
somebody like Mehdi Hassan would be good at that. He wouldn't let you just run over him. But again, I think that would still turn into a big yelling match and just too many people talking over each other and it'd be exhausting. And, the next day it's like, who won? It's just like, who gives a fuck? Just vote.
It's a shame because he has taken things that are normal and normalize the things that are not normal, right? Like America deserves a debate. America deserves to know what the fuck his policies are. And if we have a debate, then we're depending on the moderator to ask the questions and get the questions that Americans need so they can make decisions, because there are people who don't apparently know, but we're at a place where, people are like, fuck that, I don't want to hear it, which is sad because fucking it's supposed to be a debate.
Well, so you feel, so what you're saying is that, obviously we'll have the people like you and I watching, and then we'll have the Trump voters, the MAGA people that are watching. They already know, they're just cheering on their guy, but you're saying there's going to be enough people that'll watch it and go, why am I voting for this fucking guy again? Why would I even consider it?
I mean, like, right. Like, what are his policies? Like, he's just skating around campaigning and not being asked those questions. This man dictated when he wanted to tell America what his idea was on abortion. Teased it out last week. I'm gonna do a video on Monday. I'll let you know then. So everyone tunes in to hear him say the shit that we already knew that he was going to say and not say.
Yeah.
Say states, not say if it's on my desk, I'm signing a national. Like, we knew that was going to happen, but he does it on his terms. And it's like a debate is supposed to take it out of their terms and put it in the moderator's turn. I don't care if it's a town hall and have the people, mixed audience, ask the frigging questions. Like, I don't know. That's just me, but I get why folks don't want it. I understand. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would just be, to me, it was an embarrassment last time. It was not good for this country. You know, it was basically, I called it debate porn is what it was. It was just felt filthy and dirty and nasty. But you're right. I mean, we're watching it already knowing, you know, there's nothing that Donald Trump's going to say that's going to change our mind. There's nothing Joe Biden's going to say that's going to change MAGA's mind. But you're right. There could be some people watching it. And, you know, I keep hearing, which for me is weird, but I hear a lot of the people that I listen to that are experts on the subject saying Americans, and I guess it is true because I've even said, and you've even said, that Americans have very short memories, but they need to be reminded about how awful Donald Trump is constantly. They, you know, this idea that, you know, you say, were you better off 4 years ago? And you go, yeah, I was better off 4 years ago with Donald Trump. And then you literally look at 4 years ago and you go, wait, no, we weren't. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. So as much as we don't want to hear him on TV and hear about him, we need to, because people definitely need to be reminded about, like, no, this guy's dangerous. He didn't stop being racist. That didn't stop. He's still a racist and is still a bigot. Just because he's didn't stop saying shithole countries doesn't mean it. I mean, he turned around and said he only wants immigrants from Denmark and Switzerland. So,
right. Yeah. The nice countries.
Yeah.
And I think somebody said, you know, when he says nice, he means white is what he means. The nice countries. What a fucking idiot. All right. Well, Lana Quest done it again. She changed my mind. Let's debate. Let's do it. That's why, you know, I always have to rely on Lana to really, you know, I think I know what I'm talking about. And then when I say it and then Lana clears it up, I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, that's right.
That's true. Now I'm like, nah, I don't want to see a debate.
Jesus, no, don't do that. All right. Thank you, Baby Juggernaut, for participating. DA, as always, we appreciate you participating. We will appreciate everybody that watched tonight. Please like and subscribe. If you have not, just at least hit the like button. I don't know what's going on with our algorithm lately, but it's fucked up. I don't know what the hell's happening.
March Madness maybe was going on. So
maybe
busy.
Damn it. All right. Although none of the March Madness games were on Tuesday night.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, it was. We'll go with it anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Lana has a show on Thursday nights. You could catch her live at 8:00 on Thursday night.
Not this Thursday. Next Thursday.
Except not this Thursday. I was just about to say that. It'll be next Thursday.
Yeah, probably next Thursday.
So what we'll do, here's what we'll do. Lana, let's make an agreement here. We'll come back here next Tuesday night. We'll meet up and we'll have more clarity on whether or not the Quest show will be live. Not this Thursday.
I'll let you know about Tuesday. I'm on vacation next week.
What?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Staycation. I haven't worked out in the house too. So.
All right. Well, if you need some time, you let me know. We'll figure it out, you know, like we always do. But anyway, again, we thank everybody for watching Black and White with Brian Rundle and Lana Quest.
I'm going to run.
Please like and subscribe. Lana's going to run.
Energy. All right. Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.